welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thank you very
Mike,
much. Glad to be
one
here.
one of the greatest musicians in Pontiac area, or you travel around, man. Maybe
Man,
even Detroit.
I'm just trying to keep up, man. That's all I try to do. I'm trying to stay on your level.
Oh my, I got to first figure out what my level is, man. I'm just so
Yes.
busy
Uh,
doing things, man. I should probably have you interview me. Well, I'm things I'm into. So yeah.
but this is a nice little setup here. I never knew anything about this. I don't know too much about media, but I'm learning.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm learning.
welcome to the show. We got Mike Rawls on the air. They don't come no better. Well, some come close, but they don't come no better.
Cut it out, man.
Man, today is Talk to Me Tuesday, so I'm so glad that you blessed the show by showing up, man. I'm sure that people like to hear what you got to say and what you've been up to and all that good stuff. So, tell us about yourself. Where you born? You born in Pontiac, or you born down in South
No,
Florida somewhere?
I was born and raised in Pontiac, Michigan, except for a little time I spent in Chicago.
Okay,
Yeah.
Chicago's nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chicago, man, I wish I never left. But then again, had I never left, I would have never met a guy like you. You dig?
Oh,
100.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you were born in Pontiac with all the Pontiac schools, like Central?
Oh no, actually, I only went through the only public school I went to was Harrington Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to Harrington Hills.
Man, oh yeah, I used to live in Newman Court, so I
Yeah,
knew about Hampton.
I know.
We
I
came over
remember
to
when
play
you.
football.
Yeah, I remember when you lived in Newman Court because me and my nephew used to work for Newman Court. We used to go around picking up trash and all of that stuff like that.
Mm,
It was a summer job that we had.
yeah,
Your
it was
brother Dale used to come and hang out with us on our lunch breaks and everything.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always us against Harrington Hills and Lancasters.
Is that right?
Yeah, we took them on. Sometimes we
Oh,
won, sometimes we lost. So just
right, right,
the way
right.
it is. So
Oh yeah,
how long you been in the music business? All your life?
pretty much.
Okay.
Um, started playing drums when I was 10.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me backtrack. I always had this affinity, like when you watch TV shows like the Banana Splits or Josie and the Pussycats and the Archies, and they had their own little bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
And
remember. Yeah.
I said to myself, you know what? That looked kind of cool. I think I would willing to do something like that. And I for some reason, I seen myself immediately doing that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
eventually, along the line there, I ended up getting. My dad bought me a toy drum set when I was younger, but then eventually I went to I guess you would call it a professional set with the sparkles and all that. I bought it from Reliable Music downtown Pontiac, which
Mm-hmm.
that's where I got my first drum set from.
Okay.
And that was like so I got my toy drum set when I was 10, but then I got the actual one when I was 13, and I paid for my paper route, no, 12, and paid for with kept bringing money down there off my paper route and just dropping it on there. And then when I got to the halfway point, my mother met me the other way, and she paid the other half and brought the set to the house. And I come home from school and went into my room, and there's my set of drums. I said, "Oh my goodness!" So I set everything up and I started playing. But eventually, I moved them downstairs though, because
Okay.
I was considered about making too much noise and stuff like that.
Well, school just started, so I wonder, are they, got music in schools this year, or they don't have, have you
Well,
heard
that's a
anything?
good question because I really don't keep up with the school system,
Okay.
activities and stuff like that. I try to keep up with events around Pontiac, but it's kind of become not so much arduous,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of times I just fail to look on the websites to see what's going on and stuff like that.
Okay.
Only reason why we doing the thing with the Pontiac citywide choir this weekend is because of the fact that of course, they called me to play, and we'll talk about that later on.
Sure.
But
Sure.
yeah, but we oh yeah, I was telling you. Okay, so round after I bought the drum set, I had some friends. One was a guitar player named Eric Allen, who actually taught me how to play guitar. Had a
Mm-hmm.
friend named Brian Mathis, who actually knew how to play bass. He grew up over on Hughes Street. And Eric, he grew up on Rapid Street. And so they brought their instruments to my house and we started practicing as a band.
Okay.
I was 14, Brian was 16, Eric was 17.
Good age to start.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Good age to start. Yeah.
Yep. And so then we met, there was a guy across the street by the name of Neil King. He used to sing. He was a singer. And so he sang, he came over there with us and started singing. And then he introduced us to a gentleman by the name of Kenneth Hadley.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took all of our instruments over to Kenneth Hadley's house. And because he wanted us to over there to practice and everything. And Ken had all of these basses and guitars and stuff like that in the house. So guess what? I had to, Eric was already teaching me how to play guitar, but I also loved playing bass. And so after off the guitar, I learned how to play the bass. Not as good of you, of course, but but yeah. And then eventually, somewhere along the line, I fell in love. I sat behind a piano one day and I fell in love.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I would say, what do you think about people who are trying to find their way and play music at a late age, like in their 30s or 40s, and they were, I don't know, maybe their parents left them an instrument or something, or they found one in the house that they just bought or something. What do you think they still have a chance?
Well, yeah, mostly, if they really want to advance as a musician, yeah, anybody has a chance, no matter what age you're at. There's a gentleman that I know who, how do I put this? He became incarcerated for tax evasion.
Okay.
Prominent attorney around Pontiac, but while he was at the federal joint, he learned how to play the piano.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
Yeah, so that's the time was made for him to learn how to do that, and he took advantage of it.
Yeah.
And so he I never got a chance to hear him, but I did find out, his colleagues, they said, well, heck, if he wanted to play piano, he could have did that out here instead of doing what he did is just send him away, I'm like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Somebody always got something to say.
That's on Saturdays. Something to say. Something you want to say on Saturdays. You please check that out. On Saturdays. But today is Talk to Me Tuesday. So if anyone wants to call in at 248-736-2100, feel free to do so and ask questions. Mr. Michael Rawls would love to answer any questions you may have, especially you beginners out there. But we're going to talk about a little bit of everything. Like, how was this I don't know how to call it, I guess the Trump regime, is it treating you okay? Are you noticing anything around you, people acting crazy? Or are you seeing things you haven't
seen? I see a lot of people acting crazy. That's for sure. It's unbelievable. Even just driving on the highway, these people are acting crazy, man. It's so dangerous riding on the highways nowadays.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer, like, when a lot of people don't know, but of course but I have a house in Virginia in the Blue Ridge Mountains. I got a little over 6.5 acres there, and it's on top of a mountain.
Ladies.
And then I'm working on, rehabbing it and everything. I got a piano in there that I got for free.
Okay, you can romance somebody.
Yeah. Well, no, she moved into a double wide, and somebody left an organ and a piano in there.
No,
but I didn't find.
You could, if you meet somebody, have a candelabra on top of the piano and play piano and serenade them. That's what I'm saying. Right,
but the house isn't ready for me to do anything like that.
Okay.
Nah. Right now it's just me and God that exists there.
There you go. That's all.
That's what makes the whole thing wonderful when I'm able to get there and do my work on my lawn and clean the house and all that stuff, do the house cleaning and everything. And then, of course, make myself some dinner and everything.
Talk to me about social media. Like, a lot of people look at social media and they just do a lot of swiping, a lot like Instagram and I guess YouTube Shorts and probably Facebook stuff. Do you do a lot of swiping? Do you do a lot of surfing? We used to call it channel surfing on television, but
Um,
now it's probably surfing on your phone.
to some extent, if it's a topic that I wish to, um, that piques my interest, yeah,
Hmm.
then I'll stop. But a lot of times, but I get a lot of laughs in my swiping because there's a lot of people put a lot of hilarious stuff on there, and I can't help but stop. And when I realize it, I have to play it a couple of times, and then I start laughing more and more and more. It's unbelievable. I'm saying people actually put this.
Yeah,
Oh no,
yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah. They did.
Oh,
They did.
it is so funny, man. I laugh so
And, and
hard, but
and it's funny they did it for you to do that. But then if you tell them you saw it and you laughed at it, and they get offended, some of them get offended, like, oh, I didn't put on there to be funny. I was
right,
serious.
right. But no, it's yeah. There's a couple of things that just have blown my mind. But then again, you run across there are actually some ignorant people on social media.
Well, you ain't hear from me, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did
It's
you
the
did you
truth,
run
man.
across any ignorant people over the weekend?
Um, you know, the I just got back there looking at my IG,
Okay.
and there's some comments on there from a a bunch of people who didn't like the fact that I said that and then this is probably gonna start
Oh, we
something
gonna
right here.
start something. We about to start something.
Yeah. But I was telling everybody that Mexicans are actually black.
Oh, here we go.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I got a lot of people coming at me, da 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 da, and all this stuff like that. I referred them to a couple of places. For one, um, uh, you go on YouTube and find a thing that Henry Louis Gates Jr. put up. It's called Black in Latin America, and what he was
Okay.
showing how all the Hispanics, all their groups, their roots are intrinsically tied to Africa.
Everybody, even white folks.
Right.
Oh,
But
everybody's black.
yeah, but for some, yeah, because we all come from Adam and Eve,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
However, these folks they get mad at the fact that I tell them this, but yet at the same time, the Mexicans were native Mexican. Let's be clear about that. Directly from Mexico, they're the ones that shared this information with.
Okay.
Yeah, they shared this with me. They said that during the transatlantic slave trade, um, they were bringing Africans into Veracruz, Mexico, and so they were leaving them there for a while, the slave traders, and then they would come back and get them. So then somehow the native people found out what was going on, and so when the slave traders come back to get the Africans, the native people killed off the slave traders. They kept the Africans, made them part of the community. They didn't put them in slavery or nothing like that. So of course, people had to start, intermingling and all of that stuff like that. And of course, you have a concentration of black Mexicans in Veracruz, Costa Chica, and Acapulco. Those are the main concentrations where they are. But yeah,
I got a
so
question.
yeah, sure.
So if a Elon Musk person, Caucasian, comes from South Africa and they move to United States, would they be considered Black Americans?
No, they should be called well, of
I mean,
course.
I said that wrong. Would they be called African Americans? That's what I meant to say, not black. They would be considered
If
African
they're
American.
born there, yes, I would think so.
So a white person could be an African American.
Well, yeah, because if you were born in Africa, you are African.
Yeah, you
It's
come
just
over.
like if I say, for example, if I was born in Mexico, I wouldn't be black. I'd be a Mexican. Well, of course, I'd be a black Mexican. But then Mexicans comes in all different shades.
I think
You
they
got
call
some
them
that are darker than I am.
Negro. I think that's what they're called.
Well, they actually call them Moreno.
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 Yep. No, because the word negro has a negative connotation to it.
Is it
That's
a
why
Is that a color though?
that would be black,
Yeah.
but they don't refer to them as negro.
Right.
Well, actually, you got some Puerto Ricans that do that, but they call them negro. It's like a,
Slang.
it's like a
Yeah.
fun name that they say to them.
Okay.
if you watch the episode of Sanford and Son, you know all about that. Because that's when the Julio called somebody negro, and he says, Fred Fox says, he don't look like no Negro to me. And then when Julio explained to them that that's just a name, that's like a name that they call everybody in Puerto Rico. Then of course they were in the Puerto Rican restaurant, and then he says later on, "Hey Negro, bring me some more of that Shangri-La."
Well, I'm surprised we don't have more Spanish people stepping up in the political arena. It seems like now we have Arab Americans now. I mean, Michigan and New York stepping
Well,
up.
you actually do have a lot of Spanish speaking up, they're sliding up, but they're coming under the Republican flag. That's what a lot of them, just like was that? I want to say I don't
For the Senate race.
Well, no, I mean, heck, I don't. There was one named Ruby, a governor. Yeah, there were governors and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking of Rubio. I want to say DeSantis is got a Latin history connection or something like that. I could be wrong about that though.
I think you're right. I didn't think about that.
Yep. But of course, you got a lot of Hispanics down there. In Florida.
Okay.
So
it's a lot of all creeds down there, like from Cuba and.
Oh yeah.
And I go on name all those Caribbean islands, but then I will be wishing to take off and not end this show right now and head down there. So I'm not gonna dive too deep into that.
Hey, trust me, if I could, I would.
Yeah,
sir. I really want to experience the Dominican Republic. That's one place I would want to experience. Notwithstanding the fact that a lot of them will tell you very quickly, "I know black."
Everybody runs to what they think is more of a happy choice of color. So I've seen black people be white people. I've seen white people be black people. So people will be whatever they want to be, and they'll even change their skin color to get darker or try and get lighter. So it's just anyway. What do you think about AI? I was playing with AI today. This new ChatGPT, which everybody I'm sure is familiar with now. It's like the Webster of dictionaries. And it shows where it can do more than what they normally use it for as far as asking questions. Now it can go to websites and it can go to links and look up things and change things and fill out forms and applications, man. How deep are you into the computer world?
Not very much, because what frightens me about a lot of that, for example, I'll give you a song. Give you an example. There's a song out there that says by a guy named Eddie Dalton, "There is nothing wrong with being one day old, another day old."
Okay.
Man, that song it's an awesome song. But I found out that it was AI generated.
Yeah, they got a whole band doing that.
Right, and I'm saying to myself, we in trouble as musicians,
Sort of.
Yeah,
I think we thought we were in trouble when they changed from horses to cars. When they changed from a little heater oven for toast to toasters. When they changed from where to ride covered wagons to flying in airplanes. It was always something. At that point, I think we're going too far. Even like we think about going to Mars or the moon. And we'll say, I think we're going too far, but that's technology, and we're going to go there. We're going to do that. It's going to move forward with you or without you, but that's going to keep on changing. Now, they're going to be, health-wise, it's going to be, I seen where they had this light shining on your skin. They can tell where your blood vessels are, so they can stick the needle in or whatever they're doing. Because I got moving veins, so a lot of times they miss my vein when they try to take blood. Might give blood at the Red Cross. So I saw that's so cool. I know that on your watch, on the smartwatches, they shine a little light on your skin. And I found out, I said, what is that for? That's for looking at your pulse. So if you got bad heart or heart disease, it can monitor all that kind of stuff, because that little pulse is actually looking at your skin beat. It can see all the way through it. So we're going places where a lot of people, a lot of sicknesses and diseases are going to go away. I had a question for somebody today, and I'll run this past you too. If we're able to play video games like we do And we all these robots. I saw robots running track. I used to run track. I'm like, man, now they're making them run track, run around the field. Why can't they just put a robot in a spaceship and then send it to Mars? And then we be that person, each person will control their own robot and look at each other and act like they're really there. And they get the real feel for it, but not actually transforming, going to Mars or other planets or wherever you want to go. You just be that person sending a signal. But also I heard it takes about 3 to 5 minutes for those signals to get back and forth. So anyway, real time. But what do you think about robots and running around? And would you ride in one of those robot cars that I think the Tesla and also that other cars ride around taxi?
Look, I wouldn't mind trying a Tesla under those circumstances, because a lot of times when I'm driving, I want to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
You take that chance, right? So
I would take that chance.
Wake me up if you got any problems.
Right. Yeah. Or sound the alarm if a tanker's coming towards you or something like that.
Right.
Or we'll figure something out.
They're getting better and better.
Yeah, I would take a chance on one, because, like I said, I like to sleep. So, yeah, just get me to my destination and wake me up when we get there. And then,
well, you've been to Chuck E. Cheese's, right?
Been years.
But you've seen the band, right? The Chuck E. Cheese band up there performing.
I've never seen that. No, I missed that. No. When the last time I've been to Chuck E. Cheese, man?
I mean, I think the band has always been there. There's like a Chuck E. Cheese mechanical band moving around, playing, singing.
Well, when they had the one on Orchard Lake, and I don't know if that one's still in existence anymore. I don't think that's in existence anymore. But I've never seen a Chuck E. Cheese band.
Well, those who are listening, they've seen it. I'm sure a lot of people. Where I was going with this, that I'm sure that they're going to improve the band where it's going to be more lifelike now. That's where we're going with this,
Oh, you mean like have robots be as the musicians and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That ought to be interesting.
The way they move, I'm not sure have you seen any videos of these robots moving, but they move so fluently now. Usually, when Michael Jackson created the dance, the robot is so mechanical, jerking around. And robots would do that. You imitate the robot. But now they move just as smooth as you would.
Yeah, they're rather fluid now.
Very fluid, and their facial expressions are getting better and better, and the skin. We creating our true Pinocchio.
Yeah, well, I think that's the purpose. How do I say this? That's kind of like the purpose of the government, because I mean they gonna try to start mimicking each one of us and stuff like that.
I think it's called people getting their spit in to get the DNA to find out where they're from and everything. I heard they keep that on file so they can do some things with this.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Going towards technology is going to help. It is what it is. Everybody wants a piece of information about you, what you do, how money you're making, how do you sleep, when you wake up. They want all that information, and so they can sell you a product, or so they can say, I'm gonna make gas prices in this area that because I know they can afford it, and this other area can't afford it. They can tweak everything so coattail it so it be right where we can where the water's just coming right about here on us. We're not gonna bring it too high, but just high enough, man.
High enough to take some breaths.
Yeah, take a breath.
Yeah.
If you were a millionaire, what would you do with the money?
Right about now, I would invest in my homestead.
Okay.
To get it to start generating income and stuff like that. For example, I got a little over 6.5 acres. I get the machinery. I can start baling hay myself.
I've been telling people they should create a farm in their backyard. Everybody.
Well, I believe that's something that everybody should practice, that because of the way that things are going, the price of food and everything like that. Grow your own
fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. That'll take a chunk out of their revenue right there.
Yeah.
And that
cover yourself,
Right. And also, yes, exactly. And that's another thing that I'm hoping to do. I would like to do a subterranean garden on my property.
Okay.
What's
the difference? Explain that, because a lot of people.
Subterranean is done underground. Subterranean.
Sub under the terrain.
Yeah, but you have a thing where the sun can come through and give you the vegetables, the vitamin D, etc., and so forth. I got the plans going. I seen it done. The one that I'm thinking that I would like to do, I seen it on uh, Homestead Rescue.
Mhm.
That's a show I love right there. I learned so much stuff out of that there.
Okay.
And the idea that I got for the subterranean garden that I like to put together, I got it off of there.
Okay.
Yep. So eventually I'm planning on, once I figure out how to get all the materials and everything and get them on my property, we're going at it. And
Okay.
I know for a fact that once the neighborhood starts finding out, because everybody on that mountain knows who I am, they know about me, etc. and so forth, but they treat me very well, especially since I've been to a bunch of all white churches and have played for the congregations, and I've had, let me share one experience with you that's just like dear to my heart. I had a friend, I used to run into him at the Circle K gas station, and he would always invite me to come to his church. So the church that I would normally attend, we did a concert in Marion, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And on my way back from there, I'm coming down on the highway. It's called 89. I see the sign pointing to where his church is at. I said, I'm coming here tomorrow.
Yeah.
So then that's what I did. My house, it was actually the parsonage for the church that's next door to me.
Okay.
So they are, when I'm there, I go and visit them, and I play piano for them and everything. So anyway, after I leave from there, because she has another church that she has to go to, which is not that far away, but so she pastors two churches.
Okay.
The pastor. Anyway, so I went to this church and sat in the parking lot. Truck pulls in, it looks like his. So I got out of my vehicle, and as I'm approaching, his wife gets out of her vehicle and she sees me, and man, the look that I got from her, like, what are you doing here?
Okay.
We won't even go into the end epithet, and all that. But so I says, that looks like the truck of the guy that invited me to come here. So she said, well, he does invite people to church. So then I go around to the passenger side. It's him. So I said, yeah, come on in with me, So we all go in there, find a seat. And the people that were there, I didn't even know there were people already in there. So anyway, people start coming up to me, extending their hand.
Mm-hmm.
One woman come up to me, she's, ha! I was like, so I said, hey, good morning to you too, So I was trying to be as nice as possible. So anyway, pastor shows up, of course, and then I think he was kind of shocked. But anyway, during that time, I met the piano player, and I told her that I played. So she, instead of her jumping on the piano, she goes to jump up in the choir loft. I mean, in the choir pews, and started trying to tell everybody that I played. But of course, they didn't hear her. So anyway, pastor gave a nice sermon, because she came back and told me later on that she was trying to let them know that I played. So as he was processioning out, she tells me, go get on the piano. So I played a song that they had sang earlier, which was called Victory in Jesus. So then when I start playing, it's like, as soon as they start hearing it, they turned around, they looked at me and was like, what? And I said to myself, oh, I'm about to get lynched up in here. But they started moving towards the piano and everything like that. I said, oh man. So then next thing you know, when I got to the chorus, whole church lit up. Oh, victory in Jesus, my Savior forever. Yeah. So man, look, they all start singing, and after I finish, they come around, they start patting me on the shoulder, they shook my hand and all that. The same woman that said hi, she's like, you make that piano talk. So they invited me to stay for Christmas dinner. And yeah, they let me stay for Christmas. I stayed for Christmas dinner, had a nice dinner with them and everything. And they played this game called Dirty Santa. That's a whole experience right there I had never seen before in my life. But then after they got finished, they came to me, and I was getting ready to leave out the door. A whole bunch of them came to the door, and they said, please come back and visit us again. Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, that was a whole I don't think that church has ever had any black folk in that church.
Okay.
But when after doing that, they wanted me to come back. And then when I came back, I did come back. And the same woman that said hi, she's like, "Aren't you the guy that came here before?"
Yeah.
Yep. So no, they were very receptive to me.
So you was very nice.
Huh?
You were very nice.
Always.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I won't treat any, I don't go in there with any attitude or any form of narcissism or anything like that. I try to be as humble as possible.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we're gonna wrap this up. I want to give a shout out to Michael Ross. Appreciate you, brother. Means a lot when you come through, when you say you're gonna come through, and I appreciate that. You're a great musician and everything. So I appreciate those who are watching, those are followers who are watching the show. Please continue doing that. This is all going to grow larger. I hope so. Seems to be growing. It's funny, I'd be out there and people tell me, "I saw your show." I'm like, really? I said, "Let me ask you one question though. Did you hit like or dislike or no? I didn't hit no likes, nothing like that. I just watched the show." So people are watching, but there's no indication I can tell that they're watching. I want to get that point where they hit like or something. So if you're out there watching, hit like. In fact, hit dislike if you want to, because I know you watched them. So, anyway, Mike, appreciate you, man. If anything you need from me, let me know.
I appreciate that.
All right.
All right. Peace.